We know the story in the Genesis. I really love to read the whole story in the Genesis. It's very well flowed, like narrative story from the Adam, Eve to the end of the Genesis. The main character in the end of the Genesis is Joseph. And now Isaac. Now we're talking about Isaac. He's really important person in the Genesis, but we usually underestimate the value of the Isaac story because his father Abraham is well known as father of faith, right? He just gave everything because God commanded him to leave out from his homeland to the place God did not mention yet. And he obeyed, and God blessed him. And he has certain moment that God tested it. Okay, would you offer your only begotten son, only son, Isaac? He did it. We will talk later. There's something unexpected consequence from his obedience, from his immature behavior. But now Isaac's appear in the story. In the beginning of today's text, Isaac, he enjoyed the blessing from God when he sowed and reaped it. How many times he got it? In verse 12, he said, 100-fold. Can you imagine? You just said it just one and got 100. This is way more than your expectation. Sometimes science, sometimes human sense, and sometimes the logic never helps how God bless us, right? So he enjoyed it, the blessing. But where the originally the blessings from? God. Why? Did God promise Isaac, I'm going to bless you? Maybe, but ultimately God promised to his father Abraham. So now Isaac, he enjoyed it, the inheritance, the blessing from his father. So when I read the text, it is like, oh my God, that's what I have to pray. Right? I have to stand God as a very faithful man so that this is the way God bless my kids. I had the 4 kids. Oh my gosh. God may ask you 4 times though. Siyoung, you gotta do 4 times. My blessing is ready to pour out your kids. I'm watching how you are good at be from me. He doesn't count what I did it, but he will count on me who I am before God. A being matter. Where my heart is going, where eyes is on, God only. I'm so thankful to hear, listen, Katrina, you're sharing today, right? God asks you to relax, enjoy Him, right? Full peace. God didn't ask, do something. Just come to me as you are and enjoy. I already blessed you. Whenever you see the rainbow, you know what? This morning we talk about the rainbow as an illustration. Why the rainbow is so beautiful? Because it is 7 colors. If God showed the rainbow within only one color, black or gray, can you imagine? Is it beautiful? Not really. This is a sign that our life is a whole part of the mixture life, different color. Sometimes we might be sad, we might be full of joy and blessing, but we might be something burdened. But wherever who we are, whatever who we are, even any different color, if God is with us, it's going to be blessing. It's going to be all the moment for full of the thankful and grace. So Isaac, he is enjoying the blessing. Why? The blessing toward his father Abraham is still on his son Isaac. Let's change the word. If God bless Jesus, and if Jesus blessed the people who listen to his word in the New Testament, that blessing is also coming to you and me. Amen? Amen. Because his blessing is forever and ever under his promise. And his promises never fail. So it is up to us now. Would you stay in Him or not? We have no reason to complain. If you have, oh my God, but my life's lack of blessing, then you have to check who you are and where you are standing on. If you stay right next to Jesus Christ, you might realize my day is full of blessing. Like the blinded sheep, very curious sheep, they do not listen the voice of shepherd. All right? They might be wandering in the darkened valley. They complaining, oh my God, where is my shepherd? Where is the light? But Jesus is still searching you to bring back to the land of blessing. So in Genesis chapter 26, the story with Isaac, this is the text that we witness the fulfillment of God's blessing and promise. And verse 12, it says that Isaac, he planted crops in the land and same year and reaped 100-fold. God's promise is realized in an extraordinary way. As I said before, sometimes His blessing, it doesn't make sense. When you complain in some trouble, we said, why me? How about now, Isaac? Why me? Why do you bless me that 100-fold? Why do you bless me? Because I am not deserved to be blessed. I didn't do anything good before you, God. But why do you bless me 100 times? Because God said, because I made my mind to bless you, love you. Because I promised, and I keep the promise. This is life. Some days, my life is full of blessing and love. I watched some short videos in Korea. He is a science and mathematics doctor, and interviewers ask, okay, why do we feel that weekend is short? Weekdays, when you work, time, the clock goes slow. But every weekend, time flies so fast. So she complains, why we feel like weekend is short. And do you know what mathematics says? What the science says? Yeah, that's true. Scientifically, that is right. Oh, sure? I can prove it. How? Yes, literally, weekday is 5 days and weekend is 2 days. So weekend is too short. Okay, fail joke. It was a joke. Okay, oh my God.
I thought it was so serious.
No, but you know what he said? He literally said, weekend is short, only 2 days compared to weekdays, 5 days.
I thought it. I was just like, oh, okay.
Sorry, okay, okay, yeah.
Say she needs to keep herself busy during the weekdays because of, like,
Yeah.
when you're busy, time goes faster.
Yeah, and then when
She's
you
being lazy.
when you watch the movies, right? I remember when I watched the movie The Lord of Rings, some episodes are almost 3 running hours. When I watched the movie 3 running hours, I feel like 30 minutes because I really loved it, the whole story and the graphic and all the act. Oh my gosh, right? But when I watch a different kind of movie, 2 hours is boring. Oh my gosh. You know what? When God bless our days, I feel like it's fast.
Yeah, that's true.
And the times for burden and pain and sorrows, I feel longer.
Yeah, that's true.
So when you face the challenges and obstacles, we have to keep that in mind. Okay, what is wrong? I am the wrong, right? So it is essential to remember that God's promise is not bound by our circumstance. Just as God blessed Isaac in a land where he was initially an outsider, He promised to bless us in our lives as well. So Paul in New Testament, he even assures us that in Romans chapter 8:28, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. We are, right? So we may not always see immediate result or understand why things unfold the way they do, but we can trust that God's blessing is upon us, just as he promised. So remember, God promised he will bless us. And we want to think about the second one. Keep it up in any circumstance. I'm encouraging you to focus this second one. I didn't mention the PowerPoint. Despite the blessing Isaac received, he encountered significant oppositions, right? He faced the Philistine, the local people. What did they do? Just simply, I even prepare whole couple of pages of the scriptures, but I said, whenever he find the wells, the Philistines, they stole away. The struggle Isaac he faced, it teaches that invaluable lesson about persistence. In verse 18, we read that Isaac he reopened the wells that had been dug in the times of his father Abraham. He knew it, his dad did it, and even local people, they knew what Isaac's father did it. Abraham, right? But you know what? Now, they are not in good mood in each other's. So Isaac faced conflict and dispute over the wells he redug, and he did not relent. Instead, he kept digging and digging and digging. How many times? In text, he did it 3 times. Yet, Isaac did not give up or became disheartened. Instead, he moved on and continued his work. He did not complain, but he moved his step forward and found another spot and dig again. And the obstacles came again. What did they do? What did he do? He moved and dig again. Eventually, he got the destination. He found one. So we have to find, he named 3 times of different well. Number 1, what is it? Do you remember the names of the Esek? What's the meaning of the Esek? Argument. Who loved the argument? Right? But it got a lot of the impression to him, oh my gosh, I tried to good because I gave up what my dad did it before, so I gave it to them, right? So I tried to make it, but the consequence of my first trial is argument. Argument with the people, or himself, or the heart of complaint to God, whatever. He named the door names. Argument, Esek. But what did they do? Verse 21, it says, they dug another well. He tried again. But what happens? They crawled over the also. So he called in names what? Sinna. Why? What's the meaning of the Sinna?
Hostility.
Again. Sinna means enmity. He's not happy anymore. But this is not the end of the story. Verse 22, and he moved from there and dug another well. And they did not quarrel over it, so he called it, its name's what? Rehoboth. Saying that God made rooms for us, and he shall be fruitful in the land. Whenever I read this text, it encouraged me a lot because now Isaac, he lives as an outsider. This is not his homeland. He moved and moved and moved. He lived as a stranger to the local people. So this is not the same as you are. All Americans. This is your homeland, right? Let's think about Georgian. Georgia might be your second hometown, even though you're not born there, right? You have the memories. You have the relatives and friends. If you have something wrong in there, you may ask the friends, being comforted by others. But here, he is now a sojourner. This is not his land. He always faces all strangers. They may heard about the fathers Abraham, but they are not treat him well. This is a more than double or triples discouragement. He might be the lack of hope, but he did not stop. He moved forward and keep digs. So we are called to keep moving forward, to continue working diligently, and to trust that God is with us in every circumstance. Amen. So our persistence is in the face of adversity is a testament to our faith and trust in God's plan for us. And the last, God didn't ask us to dig ever and forever. Did again until we find the true blessing from God. The Joseph try and in third times. If he stopped on the second times, the true blessing, he will never find it. He did not give up. So when we stopped, this is very critical. When do we stop? Yes, the moment God blesses us. The Isaac story, it does not end with merely reopening the wells. It continues with a lesson about perseverance and divine blessing. After facing disputes over the first two wells, Isaac, he did not settle for less. He kept digging. Eventually, he found a well that was not contested. So he named it Rehoboth, meaning room, space. So he declared that now the Lord has given us room and we will flourish, be blessed in the land. Amen. So I want you guys to make this same confession. My trial is now done. My training session is now done. I am trained. It's time to use His blessing. It's time to enjoy His blessing. It's time to share His blessing. I am not going to go back to my training camp because I am now used to handle in any situation and circumstance. Isaac, he passed. Amen. In the eyes of God, it might be stage 1 and stage 2 and stage 3. He passed all. And the end of the last stage, stage 3, he passed the line. God blessed him. But very fortunately, we had hope and Isaac had hope. What there was? Isaac, he had experienced that God blessed him. In verse 12, it says that when he reaped it, God blessed him 100-fold. He may realize, okay, if God bless me, no one can stop it. If God closed the door, no one can open it. If God opened the door, no one can close it. How about blessing? If God decided me to blessing, who can stop it? He knew it. So he did not lose his hope. When he, on the first stage, dig the first well, okay, the consequence was not what as I expected it, but who knows? Let's go to the next. He encouraged his servant and the family. Let's move on. When he failed, the people started, oh my gosh, I hate this argument. I want to make a peace with these people, but they are not ready to receive my peace and love. But who knows if God want me to do this again? Because I know He blessed me before. And His promise never fails. Who knows? He might think about the moment that when his father Abraham put him on the altar. All of a sudden, his father was about to knife his head. But all of a sudden, the voice of God was there. He might remember. So, let's move. This final well, it represents the accumulations of Isaac's effort and faith. It is a symbol of the abundant blessing God provides when we remain steadfast. Steadfast, like His love. God did not ask us to steadfast every time because He gives us blessings as well. So, it also illustrates that sometimes we need to keep pressing on, continuing our efforts, and trusting God even when the Lord is difficult. The process of digging again, it signifies our willingness to keep seeking, striving, and trusting in God's timing and provision. Even Jesus, He assures in Matthew chapter 7, verse 7, ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. And knock, when the door will be opened to you. But you know what? When Jesus says, He asks us in present tense, and consequence what? It's going to be in future tense. So we have to do on now as a present, and we have to wait until how God works as a future tense. So we must not be discouraged by initial setbacks or obstacles. Instead, we should be persistent, knowing that God's blessings are worth the effort. So in Genesis chapter 26, Isaac, the son of Abraham, he found himself in a land of famine, much like the trial we face in our lives, our own lives. Despite the scarcity of around him, Isaac, he made the choice to keep moving forward. He took the risk. He planted crops in that barren land, and that the Lord blessed him with 100-fold harvest. But the story does not end at there. God does not want us to stay only in the blessing. God wants us to be matured, grow up through the test and trial, and show Him that our faith in God. Isaac's perseverance was put to the test as he faced oppositions and conflict. He dug wells to find the water for his livestock and his family. Again, Isaac's perseverance was put to the test as he faced oppositions and conflict. He dug well to find the water for his livestock and his family. Do you know what this means? He did not pursue for only himself. At least he tried to take care of people around him, his family. Each time he dug, he encountered obstacles. His wells were corroded over by the others, and he had to move on to dig another well. Despite these setbacks, Isaac, he did not give up. He kept digging, moving from well to well, never losing faith. Eventually, Isaac, he found a place where he could settle, and he named the well Rehoboth, which means room enough. In the place of the provision, Isaac, he experienced the peace and abundance that God had promised him. So remember, just as God was with Isaac, guiding him, blessing his effort, so too is He is with you.
Amen.
Keep moving forward. Even if the progress feels slow and the obstacles seem unending, even effort you make is a step toward the place of blessing and abundance that lies ahead. Your perseverance is not in vain. God is with you in every step, and He is preparing a place of abundance and peace for you, just as He did it for Isaac.
Amen.
So, we are church in Texas. Never lose your heart before God. Keep working, keep striving, keep trusting. Your diligence and faithfulness will lead you to your own Rehoboth,
Amen.
where you will find the space and blessing that you have been seeking in God. You are not alone. You are not alone in this journey. You are not alone in this journey. God's presence surrounds you. And His promise are 100% sure. Keep digging and watch as He brings forth the wells of blessing and peace in your life. Amen.
Amen.